Thanksgiving dinner has a way of slowing life down just enough for clarity to walk into the room. We were all sitting around the table yesterday when Michael started talking about the Scout program. Not casually, not nostalgically, but with a hunger. And in a moment, I realized something. Men are starving for identity. Boys are starving for structure. Families are starving for clarity. Michael wasn't just reminiscing. He was reaching for something every man feels but can't always name. And that moment became the spark for this episode. Because entrepreneurs don't burn out from the work. They burn out from abandoning their identity. Michael said something that stayed with me. Men want brotherhood. He's right. You can feel it everywhere. When men don't have a shared code, when they don't have structure, when they don't have community, their identity slowly drifts. And what happens to entrepreneurs happens to fathers. It happens to husbands, it happens to boys. When identity drifts, everything drifts with it. Direction, discipline, courage, and conviction, and even joy. This isn't a small problem, it's a cultural problem, and it starts with identity.
I've noticed something. Every guy I talk to, every client, every friend, they all say the same thing without saying it. They don't want more tactics. They don't want more hacks. They want brotherhood. A place where men sharpen each other, where there's a code, where you're expected to rise and support when you fall. And when that's missing, a man drifts. His identity drifts. His direction drifts. Brotherhood isn't optional, it's the backbone.
Michael started describing the skills boys should be learning as they grow. Knife skills, strength, character, accountability, leadership, service, and the confidence that comes from doing hard things. Not nostalgia, not the old Scout program, but something new, something built from scratch, something rooted in identity, because humans can be changed. Michael said it perfectly. It's the system they're in. Give a boy structure, give him a code, give him brotherhood, and he becomes a man. Entrepreneurs aren't any different. We need structure, we need codes, we need identity.
When I think about boys becoming men, it's not complicated. They need a code. They need structure. They need real challenges, knife skills, strength, character, accountability. Not to be tough for tough's sake, but to become grounded, capable, confident. And it's the same for entrepreneurs. When you have a code, you know who you are, you know how to act, you know what you stand for. Identity builds the man. The man builds the business.
At that table, listening to Michael, it struck me again. Identity clarity is exactly where we're supposed to be. Not just helping entrepreneurs declutter their minds, but restoring the person at the center, restoring the father, restoring the leader, restoring the identity. Because here's the truth nobody tells you. When you work outside your identity, you burn out. Not because the work is hard, not because the hours are long, but because misalignment drains the soul faster than effort drains the body. When you return to who you are, everything becomes easier. Michael said something else that hit me hard. People want this so bad. And he's right. Families are hungry for structure. Communities are hungry for clarity. Men are hungry for leadership. Boys are hungry for direction. It's not just a need, it's a tinderbox. Give it the right spark, at the right moment, in the right community, and everything ignites. The culture is ready, the world is ready, and St. George Clarity is the perfect place for that spark.
I can feel it every time I talk to someone about this. People are starving for direction, starving for structure, for clarity. It's not a small spark, it's pressure building, and once it ignites, it's going to spread fast. Because when a man gets clarity, his whole world changes. His marriage shifts. His kids feel it. His business rises. People are ready for this. They're just waiting for someone to light the match.
So here's where this all comes together. Your business cannot run on a confused identity. Your family cannot thrive on a confused identity. And you cannot live on a confused identity. Identity clarity comes down to 5 things. What you stand for, what you won't compromise, your code, your brotherhood, your role. Before we build the machine, before we scale the system, before we structure the business, we restore the identity. Entrepreneurs don't burn out from work. They burn out from losing themselves. Episode 4 brings you home, back to the man you were before the world piled noise on top of you. Return to who you are. If this episode stirred something in you, and if it reminded you of the man you were made to be, then I want to invite you to stay with me on this journey, because the work ahead isn't just about business clarity, it's about identity clarity. It's about becoming the kind of man your family looks to, your community looks to, and the world needs. So stay close, keep following these episodes, and together we'll return to who we really are, always faithful.